guys, Nary here from Drake Wing Gaming. Some of you know me on Twitter, The Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you into the Let's Play episode of Far Beyond the World. So let's just go ahead and jump right back in. Guys, please sit back and enjoy for the next 18 minutes, and let's jump right in. Alarm chain, you're up, and let's go. Alright. Okay. Oh. I mutter, depositing Fool's coin into the pouch and looking at it with renewed admiration. It very much seems like a workup of a professional craftsman. He'll be glad to see it on you, I'm sure. Yeah, I hope so. My smile slightly wavers as I take a discreet glance towards the street. I feel quite defeated. Brannick left me for just a week, and I've managed to fuck up our little secret without even trying. As nice as Cora is, this wasn't part of the plan. Then there's Tano. As expected, the female picks up on my shift and looks at me with a worried expression. Oh. I'm sorry we cannot be of any more help, love. No! I protest. You've been absolutely brilliant. It's just... I sigh, casting my uncomfortable gaze towards the path. Those two, and a few others, really scared the living soul out of me. This is a wolf's den. You cannot be a sheep here. Ooh, excuse me. I raise my brow in surprise, immediately drawn back to an analogy. We'll make a wolf out of you yet. She corrects my dress and unfurls my shawl, which got tangled in the spat. Right, now let's go into the square. Great, because I actually need some meat. Good, so we all know what to do. Cora smiles in agreement and walks behind the counter at her workstation. Well, I'll be seeing you later, pet, and we'll have some catching up to do. I'm looking forward to it. Not as much as I do. As we step outside, Vul stops for a moment and takes a deep breath. He holds it for a while, and I feel slightly worried. You're okay? I'm fine, He cuts off, throwing his gaze towards Rannick's cottage in the forest. I told that idiot to not get involved. That we need to get in, that we would get in too deep. Now I'm practically drowning in this bullshit. I feel uneasy at his comment, but decide to touch his arm, to reassure him, only to have it brushed off. Not in public, Piglet. He grumbles and finally moves towards his shop. Despite Vul's notoriety, every single eye is drilled into us. The fishmonger sorts his fish, but his eyes are hooked into my flesh like a fishing pole. Even the blacksmith calls out a curse as he hammers his finger due to his straying gaze. Every wolf passing by or working in their shop looks at us intently. For fuck's sake! Bull nearly snarls in anger, and I can see his fur bristle. Once at the butchery, his paw grabs my neck, and he shoves me into the back room. Before I get to say anything, his paws slam on either side as he pins me to the wall. What the fuck were you doing, you idiot? I saw you skipping through the town, almost begging for someone to thrash you. His angered maw snaps in front of me, and his jagged fangs start to affect my heart rate. I was happy. Happy to get killed? You're fucking useless. Now even Cora knows. I'm sorry, I... Man up, Piglet! He shakes me hard and shoves me to the floor. This isn't a playground. You're literally fucking with our lives here. My breath speeds up and I begin to hyperventilate. At first, I think it's another panic attack brought on by his anger, but now I realize I'm not scared. I'm angry. Not even angry, I'm furious. Always a pushover. Fuck off! I shout out, locking my exasperated gaze with his startled eyes. I get up to my feet and look at him, utterly fed up. I was happy because Rannick's coming back. He's the only person I can trust or rely on in this loony bin. I'm done with being treated like a fucking hostage. I try to shove him, but the wolf doesn't budge even an inch. I cannot wait for the day when I finally get to leave this fucking shithole full of fucking maniacs. I finish my rant, my rattled chest rising and falling in quick succession, but Vul seems unimpressed. You done? I allow myself a few more huffs of air before I exhale in resignation. I am done with everything. I exhale pitifully, again feeling my emotions spiral out of my control. I can feel the entity push against my psyche. It takes all the strength I have not to break. So much for my bluster. I'm so done. No, you're not, he mutters, closing his eyes. What? It's called releasing pent-up anger. You're just coming down from a high. What the fuck is he talking about? All I ever saw you do is fall to pieces and cry or freeze up like a bunny staring into a wolf's jaw. It's good to see you processing some anger as well. There's plenty of it in there, I'm sure. I gape at him, completely lost in his train of thought. Is that what it is? A fucking therapy? I mock him, snark clear in my voice. Maybe not the type you want, but definitely the one you need. He shrugs. If Cora found out, that means others are onto you as well. She's not dumb, you know. She found out because of you. She even said so herself. I protest, but he simply scoffs. Yes, and why do you think that is? It's because we had to coddle you like a damn suckling, since you constantly cry for a tit. You know what? I don't give a shit. I raised my hands in resignation. I just wanted to do something nice for Rannick, to welcome him home. I don't have time to go through this with you again. Either you'll help me or not. Help you do what? He asks in confusion. Pork with apples and custard. His eyes open wide, and he looks as if he's seen a ghost. How do you know about that? Does it matter? The wolf closes his eyes and sighs in resignation. This is rich. I bet Verissa told you. He mutters uncomfortably. How else would you know it's his favorite dish? Why does it matter? I just need the pork, Vool. I state calmly. I don't want to argue or be lectured or apologize for something that isn't my fault. Wolf gives me a confused look, but eventually concedes through his side and walks towards one of the shelves, taking up a large slab of meat. He slams it on the table, and in silence cuts out 4 nice fillets. As he places them gently into my basket, he gives me a somewhat confusing look. It's not indifferent and not sad, just off. Here, you'll enjoy it, I'm sure. Even his voice sounds subdued. What's going on? Oh, fuck, why do I have to be their emotional support blanket? You're all over the place, I state plainly, stopping him as he was about to leave the shop to the shop front. You're dead emotionless when facing those old pricks, then acting all cool and nice in front of Cora, then nearly tackling me again. What the fuck, Vool? I demand and see his ears flop slightly. I didn't want to get involved, but I did. For him. Now, everyone gets involved. Everyone falls over a fucking human. It's like you're some sort of psychedelic drug making everyone abandon their senses and cry for more. He speaks calmly and slowly, but despite outward calm appearance, I can sense he's seething inside. They're just trying to help. They're trying to get killed! He finally snaps, locking his angered gaze with me, and I can see his form tense. Standing up to those two is suicidal. When I saw them hassle with you, I thought, good, it'll teach him. But Cora had to run out, eager to pick a fight she couldn't win. She's more than capable. He's eager to dismiss anyone who's smaller than him, but she has shown her fangs. Ooh, excuse me. If she had harmed them in any way, she would have been banished, whatever Vithir's position might be. And once that happened, he would definitely thank in appropriate measure the creature that caused it. I had to intervene, not only for yours, but for her sake as well. Losing one idiot would be bad enough, but 2 of them would break Rannick. Is that the only reason why you did it? Everything I do is for that idiot, he reiterates angrily. I just hoped that I wouldn't have to throw myself in front of the elders this early. They didn't even find out you can speak yet. Fuck! He growls, grabbing his head, and his entire demeanor collapses. I can hear his breath getting more irregular. As much as I thought it was frustration, now I can see that it's not. His tail is tucked in. He's scared. And seeing how much his emotions are shifting from one extreme to the next, he doesn't know how to process it. It must be literally the first time in his life when he was actually scared. It's okay. Speak softly, but do not approach. I know how volatile he can be. Nothing's okay. Everything's turning to shit. You've dealt with them pretty well. No, I didn't. I had to get Gran involved. Your Gran? I blink, completely thrown off. As in your grandma? No, as in my fucking trained monkey named Gran. He sneers in annoyance. Of course my grandma, you idiot. Wait, Val... I have a quick think. You mean Valrus is your grandmother? How the fuck do you know that? He looks at me completely stumped, and I must admit, it feels nice when dots start to connect, but oh. Oh no. It means you're related to Aldris! Sister of my grandmother is hardly any relation. He scoffs uncomfortably, almost as if it were an insult. I mean, it kinda is. It's a relation enough to make that old bitch uneasy. She was practically speechless. Again, how the fuck do you know about Val? Enel mentioned her at the villa, and Aldris nearly blew a gasket. I just filled in the gaps. I shrug, and Vool looks into the distance. My Gran and Enel are very close. Aldris, not so much. I don't think anything is physically capable of being close with that wench. Unless she and Dran... Yuck! I'm sure I'm pulling Cora's heebie-jeebies expression right now. Anyway, I don't think you have to worry about anything. The threat worked. You have no idea who those 2 are. Vool replies coldly, giving me a condescending look. They're the pettiest, most backhanded pieces of shit this side of Tiernan. They won't let this slide. They'll start working their case against all of us now, he mutters coldly, embracing himself in an oddly comforting way, and I start to think this is serious. You really are worried. Of course I'm fucking worried, he sneers at me. They're already building one case against Rannick and you. Now they'll work on one against Cora and me. That is why I have to get my grandma involved. The Black Wolf sighs heavily and locks his gaze with the floor. We have to be prepared in case there will be a howl invoked. I nearly choke in confusion. Wait, what? Why would there be a howl invoked? Depending on how dire the news is that Rannick's bringing, the chief might need to summon one. If that happens, regardless of the original reason, the elders can present unrelated matters to be addressed by the gathered and steer the proceedings their way. You mean they can hijack it? I shudder at the realization and similarly embrace myself. Fuck! Do you think they're planning it? Why else dig up the dirt? Why else dig up the dirt left, right, and center? He shrugs and I nod, my heart slightly sinking. True. You're heading to the villa, I assume. Wolf asks idly, and I raise my brow. Huh? Where else will you get the rest of the ingredients? I was planning to, but now I don't know. I mumble, looking around in concern. This whole thing might have been a bad idea. Well, you have to go now. Oh yeah? Why? Because we didn't go through all this bullshit for you to suddenly back out. He sneers mockingly. Rannick will appreciate the meal. His enjoyment might be the only good to come out of this whole debacle. I'm not convinced and look at him inquisitively. Besides, I need a favor. Send Tryst to me. Tell him this. Vul, sundown, come. He again mimics a Neanderthal speech, and I nearly laugh into his muzzle. It's not funny. He will understand. Don't worry, I'll make sure he does. I smile, giving him a slightly worried look. But what do you need Tryst for? Bunnies are the fastest buggers in the forest. If I want a message to reach Val quickly, it has to be done by one of them. I also don't want the others to catch wind of this. Oh, okay, I'll let him know. I nod and proceed towards the doors when his paw lands on my shoulder and squeezes light slightly. And for fuck's sake, Piglet, be careful. I will. I nod and leave, carrying my basket towards the Sylvan Road. At first I was brushing off those two old fatzos as nothing more than a comic relief or a distraction. At worst they were just the typical entitled boomers who use their familial relations to blackmail everyone into tolerance of their racist, outdated views. But now it seems they're more than just bigoted mouthpieces. They have a real sway, and when it comes to politics, that's dangerous. Dangerous enough to make Vul completely messed up by fear. I seriously do not know what I woke up to, but whatever this is, I intend to see it through, no matter what. Rannick, Varissa, Cora, even Vul, despite him not openly admitting that, risk their lives for me, for what's right. Tryst was right. The young ones are different, and they seem to be the only hope for this tribe to move forward. Not even tribe, the entire forest. I chuckle, reminded of what Varric said. The human can tip the scales. At first I didn't want anything to do with any scales, but now seeing that whether I like it or not, my and everyone else's life hangs in the balance. I'm not going to simply sit by and watch the chips fall where they may. As dismissive as the wolves are of the Sylvan folk, I think I can be the bridge to gap this divide. And if I play my cards right, I might tip the scales in Rannick's favor. In any case, Dran and Aldris ended up on my shit list, and I'll do everything in my power to undermine their position, just as they do everything they can to undermine Rannick's and his father's. I'm a dumb ape in their eyes, so the irony of such a twist will be this much sweeter. When I reach the road branching out towards the villa, I take a moment to calm myself down. I rest against one of the pillars marking the perimeter and take deep, slow breaths. Tryst is quite easy to freak out if he senses danger. I cannot let myself appear rattled when talking with him. I need him on board. As I walk through the front of the garden, met with the now familiar architecture, I spot two bunnies going about the greenery. Closest to me is an almost yellowish female clipping the hedges. The other one, much further in the back, is a plucky gray male, quite massive for a bunny and not just in the waistline. He's huge, easily twice the size of Tryst. Guess they come in all shapes and sizes. The large male notices my gawking and stops brushing the pathway, pointing to his companion, who's dead set on getting the rim of the hedge right. Yo, Leaf! He calls out. There's a weirdo behind you, staring all creepy-like. Oh, new characters. By the wild, it scared the crap out of me! The female nearly drops her clippers, grabbing them at the last moment and holding tight as one would hold a dagger. I'm not sure if she intends to use it to defend herself or it's just her natural reaction to being startled, but so I decide to raise my hands in a calming manner. I assure her I have no weapon and the female rolls her eyes in annoyance. Oh, great, someone misplaced a freak. You vacant face, what you want? She speaks with that now familiar Neanderthal speech. This'll never stop being annoying. Tryst! I utter plainly, trying not to give away that I can understand them. The girl blinks, almost as if it was the last name she'd expect to hear. Tryst, the fuck you want with Tryst? Oi, Bramble, the freak wants to speak with Tryst! She calls out to her chubby friend, and the giant scoffs in amusement. Tryst? That'll be the first. Who's to say Tryst wants to speak with it? I don't know. This one's kind of fancy looking. She waves her clippers in my direction, and I feel rather uncomfortable having a sharp blade aimed at me so casually. Wouldn't want to piss off whoever's leash is attached to the other end of that collar. Ugh, let me fetch him. But if it's some kind of stupid prank, you'll be taking the heat. The other bunny grumbles and finally disappears into the side doorway, leading to the kitchens if I recall my previous tour of the place correctly. Yeah. At least you're not saddled with a freak. The female huffs and returns to tending the hedges. Having nothing else to do, I simply hang around, watching her work from time to time. She's oddly diligent, making sure the edge is just right. I'm not sure why. The chief doesn't seem like the sort that would be this bothered. What are you looking at, vacant face? She sneers in my direction. I can't help but chuckle at how flustered I make her. This seems only to fuel her annoyance, and she finally straightens up. Oh, it's funny, is it? How about I take this trimmer and shove it so far up your... Hey, Leaf, what's up? Tryst's arrival prevents any possible spat, and I smile at the bunny kindly. This freaking weirdo is up and about! Oh, it's fine. He's Rannick's new ward. Rannick. The female gives me another, this time more careful look, and her eyes center on my collar. Oh, that no-good flea bag! She calls out, shaking her oversized scissors. If I were you, I'd throw this new chew toy down the cesspool and... That's enough, Leaf. Now I'm the one to blink, taken by surprise by Tryst's commanding tone. After the way he dismissed you, you've done nothing wrong, and... I said enough. He repeats sternly, and the girl is as confused and shocked as I am. Didn't know Tryst had this in him. What are you worried about? He's just a dumb oaf. We can speak freely. I won't repeat myself, Leaf. I think you've got some work to do. What's up with you, Grouchy? I was only having a bit of fun. Well, I'm in no mood. Now get back to work before you earn yourself 2 additional hours in the scullery. The scullery? Leaf calls out in complete outrage. Who do you think you are? You're still yapping. Make it 3 hours if I hear another word. And with that threat, she finally goes quiet, although her mouth is still wide open. Damn, I guess Tryst is not just any bunny around here. He's quite bossy, not that that's any surprise. In retrospect, it does make sense. Once Leaf subsides, the female leaves us, marching in a rather aggravated fashion towards the other end of the garden. Come, let's get under the peristyle so that we're more shielded from the prying eyes. He invites me to follow and we move to the side, where the nice colonnade and roofing covers the path adjacent to the kitchen's wall. Ooh, excuse me. Here should be good enough. Tryst nods with satisfaction after his ears did a nice radar-like sweep of all cardinal directions. I see you're bossing everyone around, I mutter in amusement, causing him to shrug. They're a bunch of rabbits without a warren. They need some semblance of hierarchy, otherwise all goes to shit. Besides, disorganized, we're just easier prey for those wolves. Heh, spoken like a true leader. Tryst puts a hand on my shoulder and leans out, looking at Leaf, staring us down from afar. Alright guys, I'm gonna pause it right here. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, leave a super thanks or a tip if you can, it always helps. Until the next video, I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!